I was scrolling through TikTok the other day when I saw a video of a toddler and his father taking a walk when the boy spotted a young woman who might have been their neighbor and pointed her out. The father acknowledged her, encouraged his son to greet her, and kept walking without shoving his camera in her face. One user commented, "You see the way the man did not put his camera in the lady's face? That is emotional intelligence." And that had me wondering, since when did basic politeness become a psychological skill? I'd seen this word emotional intelligence applied to so many different situations, especially on social media, that I no longer knew what it actually meant. So I finally decided to look it up. And what did I find? Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions while also perceiving and responding to the emotions of others. Psychologists break it down into 4 parts: self-awareness, which is knowing what you feel and why; self-management, which is handling those feelings so they don't control you; empathy, which is sensing what others are experiencing; and finally, relationship management, which is using this awareness to navigate interactions effectively. It is an internal skill set, not a performance for others. You spot emotional intelligence in specific behaviors. You see it when someone receives criticism and pauses to process before responding defensively. You see it when a person can name exactly why they feel upset rather than just acting it out. You see it when a manager notices their team seems drained and addresses the workload instead of pushing harder. You see it when someone apologizes by acknowledging the impact of their actions, not just their intentions. You see it when two people disagree and one can say, "I understand why you see it that way," without surrendering their own position. These are moments of active emotional awareness and intelligence, not passive courtesy. People misapply emotional intelligence in 2 common ways. First, they mistake basic manners for the concept itself. When someone holds the door for a stranger, says please and thank you, or doesn't scream at a cashier who messed up their order, the internet calls it emotional intelligence, but it is not. It simply is not being rude. These are baseline social expectations, not evidence of advanced emotional skills. Second, people diagnose low emotional intelligence in anyone they find difficult. The co-worker who is blunt in emails gets labeled as lacking emotional intelligence. The friend who forgets to check in during a hard time gets the same diagnosis. The awkward person at the party who struggles with small talk must have low intelligence too. But bluntness could be a communication style or cultural difference. Forgetting to check in could be thoughtlessness or simply being busy. And social awkwardness could be anxiety or introversion. None of this is a sign that someone is low on emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence belongs in situations where emotions are complex and the stakes are real. It applies when you have just been criticized and feel your face flush with anger, but you choose to take a little time off to process your reaction instead of firing back. It applies when you notice a pattern in your life and you sit down to trace what triggers that behavior. It applies when a colleague is clearly upset but insists everything is fine, and you read the situation accurately enough to know whether to drop it or to check in later. It applies when you are in a disagreement and can set aside your need to be right long enough to actually hear the other person's point. Emotional intelligence is a real and valuable concept, but only when we reserve it for what it actually describes, which is the difficult, invisible work of understanding emotions when understanding actually counts. It does not apply to every act of basic human decency, like not shoving a camera in someone's face without their consent. And until next time, keep using what's right. Bye!